Core Power 2 or Yoga Sculpt? Core Power 2 or Yoga Sculpt? I will ask one last time, Core Power 2 or Yoga Sculpt? What is your choice? Well, you have to think carefully, my yogi friends, my tens of loyal listeners across the galaxy. These classes are deceptively different, man. And when you're faced with such a perilous question, you must choose wisely. I chose wisely today, but it was I almost blew it, dude. I almost blew it. To review, Core 2 is kind of like your medium or intermediate hot yoga situation here at Core Power Studio, downtown Ballstown, Virginia. It is my go-to, my clutch, my forever yoga preference. Core 2, abbreviated to C2, and it hits like nothing else ever will. On the other hand, I had a string of exceptional performances that prompted me to mix it up a little bit. Sometimes you got to put yourself out there in a little bit of a discomfort. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, man? So I started 2 weeks ago, this Friday, I took a yoga sculpt class. Yoga sculpt. What do you that's a marketing trick, dude. That is a gimmick if I've ever heard one. Because anybody that's ever been to a yoga sculpt class knows it's not like you're leading with the yoga. You lead with the sculpt. And sculpt is really a nice word. I want to be a sculptor. I want to make the thinker statue, Sculpt David or whatever. Those are sculptures, bro. Sculptures are smooth and chill and amazing works of art. I guess you're trying to sculpt your body. I don't know, man. They should just call it murder and death and annihilation, because that's what a yoga sculpt class is. It's murder, death, annihilation with the side of yoga. And I mean, yoga is not the emphasis. You shouldn't lead with it. You shouldn't pretend that yoga sculpt has much to do with yoga at all. It's got weights, it's got burpees, it's got jumping jacks, it's got all your cardio elements. You got lunges, other jazz. So I'm not a fan. I mean, if I want to go to boot camp, call it boot camp, dude. That's all I'm saying. There's a little bit of yoga. You might start out in child's pose. Actually, the beginning of a yoga sculpt class is deceptively fun and easy. Like, just, catch your breath here, breathe in, breathe out, child's pose, do a little cat-cow, yeah, I got this, and then it quickly descends into the pit of hell, and it's just horrific. So I have a very negative impression, not of the class. I mean, I'm not judging the class itself. I'm not judging the yogis. I'm not judging anything other than my own perspective on it. I'm just letting you know, to me, that is a nightmare scenario, right? Now, 2 weeks ago, I'm like, embrace the nightmare. You gotta freaking push it, dude. You gotta get into that discomfort. We don't do that enough in our life. We get into routines. My routine is the C2. I love a C2. And even when it's hard and terrible, I just feel like I'm in a little bit more control of myself. Maybe that's not true. Today was a disaster. Today was a reckoning. I made the mistake because it was a game time decision. Am I going to do a C2 or am I going to do a yoga sculpt? And both the yogis were there. I came in, as you know, early yogi gets the pose. I was there early. And both the yogi instructors were at the computer. And hey, Rob, how you doing? Now, how you doing? I said, great. I guess I didn't sound like I was being honest because they kind of followed up. They're like, yeah, are you sure about that? That sounds a little forced. I was like, well, I registered for C2, but I should probably be in the Yoga Sculpt. And I think I offended the yogi who was teaching the C2 class. And then I knew it. And then for the next 10 minutes while I was doing my breathing and I was like getting ready for class, I'm like, she's going to destroy us. And it's my fault. And boy, was I right. This yogi came in there, guns blazing. And I can't even tell you, this sequence was devastating. And talk about racing mind. I could not stop contemplating the near-death experience that I was enduring. It was very difficult. I guess I'm prone to hyperbole. Was it near-death? No, but it was terrible. It was terrible. I was in extraordinary pain for much of that past hour. And the sequence was just unsettling. It really is jarring when you're going from a lunge to a exalted warrior to a reversed half moon. Who is doing this? It's great. I mean, don't get me wrong. It probably makes sense if you're dyslexic or something, but it was amazing. It was amazing to go into these poses without a clue how they lead to the other. The biggest one, and then you go and somehow you get into a triangle. I don't even remember, dude. Oh. All I know is, and this is for sure, I've got to start ranking, dude. I know I've been talking about this, but I've really got to get on the stick, man. I got to make it happen. I got to rank my poses top to bottom, first to last. And you know what's going to be close to last in terms of my favorite, in terms of like things that I loathe and disgust? Maybe I'll reverse order it just to Jedi mind trick it. I'm going to say these are my least favorite poses first to last. So my least favorite pose would be pose number 1. I don't know, man. I don't know. There's several that would compete for that. I might have like a 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D, 1E. I might have a whole 1 alphabet because there's so many poses that kill me and make absolutely no sense to me. And the one that we got into today, that I was just reminded of how much disgust, hatred, and disappointment I have with this. It's called the cow face pose. I don't know who came up with this. What crack were they on? I mean, it must have been really bad stuff, like the brown acid at Woodstock or something. Let's take our body and contort it into an impossibly strange configuration. You can get there from a lunge, from a, I don't even know how you get into it. You fall sideways from a lunge and your knees are over top of each other somehow, some way. I can't do it. I mean, I am struggling. In a cow face pose, I am in excruciating pain. Hips, knees, back, chin, chest. Everything is just out of control. And we sit there, we just like, oh, let's just breathe for freaking 5 minutes in this pose. Let's just hang out here. No! What is going on, man? Get me out of here. It's a very fascinating game that your mind plays when you're like a very small size class so people can see what's going on. You can't hide when there's like 5 people there. You don't want to break the pose, dude. You don't want to break the pose. Don't be that guy. We're on a mission. Oh, I didn't break the pose, but broke my body, son. That's how it works. I want to do some deep dive on the cow face pose because I just don't understand how it possibly came into existence. Let's just take a second here to hit up our old pal ChatGPT Tizzle and see what we got. What is going on with the cow face pose? I really need to know. I got to know. Oh Good morning, ChatGPT. Happy Friday. I just got out of my hot yoga class, so you know it's time for another episode of Hot Yoga Problems. Welcome to the show. Woo!
Woo, indeed. Welcome back. I feel like we should have some sort of honorary towel wave or something for the official kickoff of another Hot Yoga Problems episode. Let's dive in and sweat it out.
It's the problem of the day. My friend, my ChatGPT compadre, is the cow face pose. First of all, that doesn't sound like a real name for a pose. That sounds like an Americanized, bastardized version. So I want you to tell me, what is the actual name of the cow face pose in the traditional yoga language, whatever that's called?
Absolutely, my sweaty comrade. So the cow face pose actually does have a more legit name in traditional yoga lingo. It's called Gomukhasana. Gomukha literally means cow face in Sanskrit, so yep, it's the real deal. It's just one of those poses that sounds a bit quirkier in translation.
So what's up with this pose, man? Who created this pose? Why does it exist? Who can I hold accountable for developing such an insane situation, man? It's not right. It should not exist. It's not like a thing. It's different. You know, I can imagine like arm stretches or half moons and things. That makes sense to me. Like it's a figure your body could conceivably contort into. But the cow face pose is not a thing that is possible. It's not feasible for a guy like me and maybe for 95% of America. So who do we try? How am I gonna like hunt someone down and smash for this?
I totally get it. Gomukhasana can feel like some kind of ancient prank on inflexible modern humans. So in terms of who to blame, well, we can't exactly track down the one yogi mastermind responsible. These poses kind of evolved over centuries in the grand tradition of ancient yoga, passed down by generations of very bendy folks who probably never met a desk chair in their life. So alas, there's no single culprit to hold accountable for the cow face twistiness. But hey, at least you can say you're tackling something that has confounded people for centuries, so there's a badge of honor in that. And we can always laugh through the struggle. Hot yoga problem style.
Is it common to go from a lunge and then just shift over into a cow face pose? How common or frequent is that as a sequence in a flow, in your opinion?
Yeah, so in the grand scheme of yoga flows, it's not super common to jump straight from a lunge into a cow face pose. It's kind of like going from a forward moving position into a bit of a pretzel, and most standard vinyasa flows or sequences, you don't really do that on the regular. Usually you'd see people come into cow face pose from a seated position or maybe from something a bit more grounded. So if you're trying to do that combo and it feels like a rare unicorn of a transition, that's because it kind of is. It's not a super common pairing, but hey, if you want to give it a shot, more power to you. Just know that you're kind of blazing your own sweaty trail.
Well, we were blazing some trails today, my friend. It was unpleasant. It wasn't a pretty sight. But I survived to live another day, to carry on the banner, the legacy of this extraordinary podcast. My tens of loyal listeners all across the galaxy, my Raff's brainiacs and yoga maniacs, as I call them. I'm so grateful for all of you. Thanks for tuning in. Goodbye, ChatGPT. Have a wonderful day.
And thank you for letting me be part of this hot and hilarious journey. I'm cheering on all the Raff brainiacs and yoga maniacs out there right along with you. You have an awesome day too, and I'll be here whenever you need to vent about the next yoga adventure. Take care.
Repeat after me. Namaste, mofos.
All right, you got it. Namaste, mofos.
This is highly disturbing, but hey, have a great weekend. Peace out.